Have you ever felt like you were wearing blindfolds in a room full of strangers, trusting someone only to realize they weren't who they seemed? Imagine if you could read the signs, protect yourself, and keep your peace intact. This video is about empowering you to do just that by unveiling the 5 telltale signs of people who might not have your best intentions at heart. Stay with me till the end. You won't want to miss the practical tips to safeguard your relationships and mental well-being. Have you ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted deeply, only to later discover their intentions weren't as pure as they seemed? It's a situation that leaves you questioning not just that person, but yourself as well. Could you have seen the signs earlier? Could you have protected yourself from the emotional pain that followed? While we can't predict every twist and turn in human behavior, we can become more aware of the subtle signs that reveal someone's true intentions. Life would be so much simpler if everyone around us were kind, honest, and genuine. In an ideal world, relationships would be straightforward, and trust would come without risk. But the reality is often different. People can wear masks, presenting themselves as friends or allies while hiding motives that can harm us emotionally, mentally, or even physically. These experiences, though painful, can teach us valuable lessons about recognizing red flags early on. The importance of spotting harmful intentions cannot be overstated. First and foremost, it's about protecting your mental health. Relationships, whether personal or professional, have a significant impact on how we see ourselves in the world. When someone you trust deceives you, it can chip away at your confidence and self-esteem, leaving scars that are hard to heal. By recognizing harmful behaviors early, you can save yourself from unnecessary pain and turmoil. Another critical aspect is maintaining your boundaries. Everyone has a limited amount of time, energy, and emotional resources. When we fail to recognize harmful individuals, we risk allowing them to drain these resources. By identifying red flags, you take control of your boundaries and ensure that your energy is directed toward people who uplift and support you. Building meaningful relationships is another key benefit of recognizing these signs. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay, and that's okay. By identifying and distancing yourself from insincere individuals, you create space for genuine connections. These are the relationships that truly matter, the ones built on mutual respect, understanding, and trust. So, how do you start recognizing these signs? It begins with self-awareness. Pay attention to how people make you feel. Do they leave you feeling energized and valued, or drained and diminished? Sometimes your gut instinct can tell you what your mind hasn't yet processed. Trust that instinct. When someone's behavior doesn't sit right with you, it's worth exploring why. It's also essential to observe patterns of behavior. One-off incidents might be misunderstandings, but consistent patterns often reveal deeper truths. For instance, if someone frequently dismisses your emotions, it might not just be thoughtlessness, it could be a lack of empathy, which is one of the most telling signs of someone with malicious intentions. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's the foundation of any healthy relationship. Without it, there can be no genuine connection or mutual respect. People who lack empathy often reveal themselves in subtle ways. They might ignore your emotional needs, change the subject when you're upset, or even mock your feelings. This isn't always obvious, but over time their indifference becomes clear. They may seem emotionally detached when others express sadness, frustration, or joy, leaving you feeling unsupported and invalidated. Imagine confiding in someone about a tough day, only to have them brush it off or make you feel like you're overreacting. While everyone has moments of distraction or stress, repeated instances of this behavior could signal a deeper issue. People who lack empathy are often more concerned with their own needs and desires than with understanding or supporting others. This self-centeredness can leave those around them feeling isolated and undervalued. It's important to ask yourself, does this person truly care about my feelings and well-being? Or are they just going through the motions? Genuine empathy isn't just about words, it's about actions. A person who cares will listen, offer comfort, and take steps to show that they value your emotions. If someone consistently fails to do this, it's a sign that they might not have your best interests at heart. Recognizing these behaviors early allows you to evaluate the relationship and decide how much energy you want to invest in it. While some relationships can improve with open communication and mutual effort, others may require you to set firm boundaries or even walk away. Protecting your emotional well-being is not selfish, it's essential. As you navigate your relationships, remember that not everyone deserves a place in your inner circle. Be selective about the people you allow close to you. Look for those who demonstrate kindness, understanding, and consistency in their actions. At the same time, keep an eye out for behaviors that feel dismissive, manipulative, or uncaring. These signs can save you from heartache and help you build a life filled with genuine, supportive connections. Life is too short to be surrounded by people who don't value or respect you. By learning to recognize these signs, you empower yourself to take control of your relationships and protect your peace. Stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and prioritize the people who truly deserve your trust and care. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have an almost magical ability to get what they want from others, often without anyone realizing what's happening? These individuals are often experts in manipulative behavior, a skill they use to subtly or sometimes not so subtly control the people around them. It's not always obvious at first, but over time the impact of manipulation can be devastating. Recognizing these tactics early is essential to protecting your peace of mind and ensuring your relationships are healthy and genuine. Manipulative behavior often starts with small, seemingly innocent actions. These can include subtle suggestions or comments that steer conversations or decisions in a specific direction. At first glance, it might even seem like the person is looking out for your best interests. But when you step back and examine their motives, you might realize their actions are primarily designed to benefit them, often at your expense. One of the most common signs of manipulation is how these individuals handle boundaries. A manipulator sees boundaries not as a sign of mutual respect but as obstacles to overcome. They might push for more of your time, attention, or resources than you're comfortable giving, often disguising their requests as needs or emergencies. If you try to establish limits, they may ignore them, subtly pressuring you until you give in. This constant boundary pushing can leave you feeling drained and overwhelmed. Another hallmark of manipulation is the way these individuals use emotions to control others. They might play the victim, presenting themselves as someone who is always wronged or misunderstood. This tactic is designed to make you feel sorry for them, shifting the focus away from their behavior and onto your sense of guilt or responsibility. By making you feel obligated to help them, manipulators can extract favors, sympathy, or even loyalty that they don't deserve. Compliments can also be a tool for manipulation. While there's nothing wrong with genuine praise, manipulators often use excessive flattery to disarm you. They might shower you with compliments to build your trust, only to later use that trust to influence you. This tactic can make you more willing to overlook their flaws or agree to their requests because you feel validated and appreciated. Manipulators are also skilled at exploiting vulnerabilities. They pay close attention to your insecurities, fears, or desires, using them to their advantage. For example, if they know you're eager to please, they might frame their requests as opportunities for you to prove your worth. If they sense that you fear conflict, they may use subtle threats or implications to pressure you into compliance. This behavior can create a power dynamic where you feel trapped, unable to assert yourself without fear of retaliation or rejection. One of the most damaging aspects of manipulation is how it erodes your sense of self. Over time, you might start questioning your instincts, doubting your decisions, or feeling like you're constantly walking on eggshells. This is because manipulators are often skilled at twisting facts, making you second-guess your perception of events. They may downplay their actions, accuse you of overreacting, or even blame you for their behavior. This tactic, often referred to as gaslighting, can leave you feeling confused and unsure of yourself. To protect yourself from manipulation, it's essential to stay grounded in your sense of self-worth. Remember that your feelings and boundaries are valid, no matter what others might say. Pay attention to how people's actions make you feel. If someone consistently leaves you feeling guilty, obligated, or unsure of yourself, it's worth examining the dynamics of that relationship. Communication is also key. If you notice manipulative behavior, don't be afraid to address it directly. Use clear, assertive language to express your boundaries and expectations. For example, you might say, "I feel uncomfortable when you do that, and I'd appreciate it if you could stop." While this approach won't guarantee a positive response, it can help you assert your needs and make it clear that you're not willing to be controlled. At the same time, be prepared for resistance. Manipulators are often skilled at deflecting blame or turning the situation around on you. They might accuse you of being too sensitive, unreasonable, or unkind. When this happens, it's important to stay calm and focused on the issue at hand. Don't let their tactics distract you from your goal of protecting your well-being. In some cases, it may be necessary to distance yourself from a manipulative person. This can be difficult, especially if the relationship is long-standing or emotionally significant. However, it's important to prioritize your mental and emotional health. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and value feelings. By creating a supportive environment, you can rebuild your confidence and regain control of your life. Manipulative behavior can be subtle, but it's not invisible. By staying aware of the signs and trusting your instincts, you can protect yourself from the negative impact of these tactics. Remember, you deserve relationships built on mutual respect and understanding, not control and deceit. Stay vigilant. And don't be afraid to take action when necessary. You have the power to create a life filled with genuine, uplifting connections. Have you ever encountered someone whose words and actions just didn't seem to match up? Maybe they told you one thing, but their behavior suggested something entirely different. This disconnect can often be traced to one of the most damaging traits a person can have: a tendency to lie constantly. Dishonesty, especially when habitual, can corrode trust, damage relationships, and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about someone. Recognizing this behavior early can save you from unnecessary pain and help you maintain your peace of mind. Lying isn't always about bold-faced deception. Sometimes it's the small, seemingly insignificant lies that are the most telling. These can range from embellishing details about their day to completely fabricating stories that make them appear more favorable. At first glance, these lies might seem harmless, but over time they reveal a pattern of dishonesty that can make it impossible to trust anything the person says. The problem with constant lying is that it creates an alternate reality. A person who lies frequently often does so to manipulate how others perceive them. They may craft stories that paint them as a hero or victim, depending on what serves their agenda. For example, they might exaggerate their accomplishments to gain admiration or downplay their mistakes to avoid accountability. This creates a distorted view of who they truly are, making it difficult to build an authentic connection with them. One of the most significant dangers of dealing with a habitual liar is the erosion of trust. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, whether it's with a friend, family member, or colleague. When someone lies regularly, it becomes impossible to distinguish truth from fiction. You may find yourself constantly questioning their words, analyzing their stories for inconsistencies, or second-guessing your own perceptions. This can create a toxic dynamic where doubt overshadows everything else. But why do people lie so often? In many cases, it stems from a desire to control how others see them. They may fear rejection, judgment, or vulnerability, so they construct a false image to shield themselves. Others lie as a means of manipulation, using deception to gain advantages, avoid consequences, or maintain power in a relationship. Whatever the reason, the result is the same: a web of lies that entangles everyone involved. Spotting lies isn't always easy, but there are clues if you know what to look for. One common sign is inconsistency in their stories. A person who is lying often struggles to keep track of the details, leading to contradictions over time. For example, they might tell one version of an event one day and a completely different version the next. Paying attention to these discrepancies can help you identify when someone isn't being truthful. Another telltale sign is vagueness. Liars often avoid providing specific details because they know that the more information they give, the more likely they are to be caught. They might give overly broad answers, deflect questions, or change the subject entirely. On the flip side, some liars go to the other extreme, offering excessive details in an attempt to make their story seem more believable. This can be a red flag, especially if the details feel rehearsed or unnecessary. Body language can also reveal a lot about someone's honesty. While everyone is different, certain behaviors are commonly associated with lying. These include avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, touching their face, or appearing unusually nervous. However, it's important to consider the context and the individual's baseline behavior, as these signs alone aren't definitive proof of deception. The impact of constant lying extends beyond the immediate relationship. It can affect your overall sense of security and trust in others. Being deceived repeatedly can make you more guarded and less willing to open up to new people. While self-protection is important, it's equally crucial not to let one person's dishonesty overshadow your ability to form meaningful connections with others. If you suspect someone in your life is lying frequently, it's important to approach the situation carefully. Confronting them directly can be challenging, as habitual liars are often skilled at deflecting blame or denying wrongdoing. Instead of accusing them outright, try asking open-ended questions that encourage them to clarify their story. This can sometimes reveal inconsistencies without escalating the situation. At the same time, it's essential to set boundaries. If someone's dishonesty is affecting your well-being, Let them know how their behavior makes you feel. For instance, you might say, "It's hard for me to trust what you're saying when the details keep changing. Trust is important to me, and I need honesty in this relationship." While this won't guarantee a change in their behavior, it can help you assert your needs and protect yourself emotionally. In some cases, it may be necessary to distance yourself from the person. While this can be difficult, especially if there's someone you care about, your peace of mind should always come first. Surround yourself with people who value honesty and integrity, and remember that you deserve relationships built on trust and authenticity. Dishonesty, especially when habitual, is a toxic trait that can undermine even the strongest of connections. By learning to recognize the signs of lying and understanding its impact, you can protect yourself from its damaging effects. Trust your instincts, pay attention to patterns, and don't be afraid to prioritize your well-being. Life is too short to be weighed down by the lies of others, and by taking proactive steps, you can create a life filled with honesty and genuine relationships. Have you ever met someone who seemed reluctant to share even the most basic details about themselves? Perhaps they were evasive when asked about their background or gave vague responses when discussing their personal life. While privacy is a natural and healthy boundary, excessive secrecy can be a warning sign of deeper issues. It may indicate that the person is hiding something significant or is unwilling to build a genuine, open connection. Everyone has aspects of their life they prefer to keep private, and that's entirely normal. However, when someone goes out of their way to avoid sharing even the smallest details, it can raise questions about their motivations. Secrecy can manifest in many ways, such as being deliberately ambiguous about their past, avoiding direct answers to questions, or deflecting conversations away from themselves. While it's important to respect individual boundaries, it's equally important to recognize when secrecy begins to feel like a red flag. One reason people may be excessively secretive is to protect a false narrative about themselves. For instance, they might have constructed a particular image they want others to believe, and sharing too much could expose inconsistencies in their story. This is especially common among people who feel the need to maintain control over how others perceive them. They may fear that revealing certain truths will tarnish the carefully curated image they've worked so hard to build. In some cases, excessive secrecy can be a defense mechanism rooted in past experiences. People who have been hurt or betrayed before may find it difficult to trust others. They might fear judgment, rejection, or vulnerability, so they keep others at arm's length by withholding personal information. While this behavior is understandable, it can make it challenging to form deep and meaningful connections with them. Another possible explanation for secrecy is that the person has unresolved issues or aspects of their life they're not proud of. This could include a troubled past, legal troubles, or personal mistakes they'd rather not revisit. By keeping these details hidden, they may believe they're protecting themselves from criticism or negative consequences. However, this approach often creates barriers to trust and authenticity in their relationships. Secrecy can also be a sign of a more significant problem, such as living a double life or engaging in deceptive behavior. For example, someone might withhold details about their personal life because they're involved in activities that contradict the image they present to others. This could range from financial dishonesty to infidelity or other forms of deceit. While not every secretive person is hiding something sinister, it's essential to be aware of the possibility. The reluctance to share personal details can make it difficult to build trust. Trust is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, and without it, connections can feel shallow or insincere. When someone is unwilling to be open, it's natural to wonder what they're hiding and why. Over time, this uncertainty can erode the foundation of the relationship, leaving both parties feeling disconnected and unfulfilled. If you find yourself in a relationship with someone who is excessively secretive, it's important to approach the situation with understanding and patience. Start by considering the context and their reasons for being private. Are they naturally introverted, or have they experienced situations that made them wary of opening up? Understanding their perspective can help you navigate the situation with empathy. Communication is key in these scenarios. If their secrecy is impacting your relationship, have an honest conversation about your concerns. For instance, you might say, "I've noticed that you're hesitant to share certain things about yourself, and I'd like to understand why. I value honesty and openness in our relationship, and I want to make sure we can trust each other." By framing the conversation around your feelings and the importance of trust, you can encourage them to open up without making them feel attacked. However, it's essential to recognize that not everyone will be willing or able to change their behavior. If their secrecy persists despite your efforts to address it, you may need to reevaluate the relationship. Ask yourself whether their unwillingness to share is creating a barrier to the connection you want. While it's natural to want to give people the benefit of the doubt, your emotional well-being should always be a priority. It's also crucial to set boundaries when dealing with someone who is excessively secretive. If their behavior is causing you stress or making you question their sincerity, let them know what you need to feel comfortable. For example, you might say, "I understand your need for privacy, but I also need a certain level of openness to feel secure in our relationship. Can we work together to find a balance that works for both of us?" By setting clear expectations, you can create a foundation for healthier communication. While secrecy can be challenging to navigate, it's important to remember that not every private person has malicious intentions. Some people are simply more reserved by nature or have valid reasons for protecting certain aspects of their lives. The key is to discern whether their behavior stems from a healthy need for privacy or a deeper issue that could harm the relationship. In relationships, trust and transparency go hand in hand. When someone is willing to share their thoughts, feelings, and experiences, it fosters a sense of connection and mutual respect. On the other hand, excessive secrecy can create distance and suspicion, making it difficult to build a strong, lasting bond. By understanding the reasons behind someone's reluctance to open up and addressing it with care, you can create an environment that encourages honesty and authenticity. At the end of the day, your peace of mind is what matters most. If someone's secrecy leaves you feeling uneasy or disconnected, it's okay to step back and reassess the relationship. Surround yourself with people who value openness and integrity, and remember that healthy relationships are built on a foundation of trust, mutual understanding, and genuine connection. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to share it with someone who could benefit from understanding these signs. Let's help each other thrive in a world where trust is priceless.